Yo, it's your boy J Best, your boy Jared King, boy Real, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 3, episode 43. On today's episode, we'll be discussing the NBA. All right, should it be Shai or should it be Jokic for MVP? Following that, who's the biggest threat to OKC? And then after that, is Austin Reaves the best third option in the NBA? And then to follow that up, we're gonna have who should win the Coach of the Year award. And then to end this episode, we're gonna give our March Madness champion picks. All right. Before we get into any of that, as always, we want to thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing us to talk about sports, which is something that we love to do. And without him, we would not be here right now. Fellas, y'all ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get straight to the point. All right. First and foremost, once again, CJ Stroud jersey giveaway. It's right here. Go to season 3, episode 41. Put any comment in the comment section, and you'll be eligible. And also help me get up to 400 subscribers. You'll be eligible for the CJ Stroud jersey giveaway. All right. But let's go ahead. Let's jump into things. The MVP race is getting hot. It's getting spicy. Right. Some of us don't think it should. Some of us think it should be, but it's pretty close. All right. So Jared, you up first. Shai or Jokic for MVP?
I gotta go with Shai, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta go with Shai. He's like it's night in and night out for him. Like he gets his every single night. He's gonna get his. He's averaging 33, 6 and 5. I mean, that's him doing a little bit of everything. But majority of what we know he's gonna do is score, and he's doing it at a high level. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. He's not a solidified 3-point shooter, but he's shooting 37% from the 3-point line. That's pretty good. You know, great shooters, they shoot 40% and plus. He's shooting 37%. He's shooting 52% from the field. Those are great numbers. He's very efficient. And we know Shai, a lot of people started talking about how, and I've got annoyed the past couple of games about that he constantly gets that whistle, but it's at some point you got to realize that it's kind of a skill. I mean, you can't guard him, and that's a part of not being able to guard him. He puts you in positions to where he can draw the contact. If you were just able to just stand in front of him and play great defense, he wouldn't be able to draw that contact that's necessary. But he gets you leaning, he shifts you one way, and he's able to put you in a position to where you're either going to foul him or he's going to get a bucket. I mean, and even without the games where he's shooting high free throws, he's still having 30, 40-point games. So I just think that, look, man, Shai, as of right now, today, at this point in the season, he is the best player in the league right now. And he's carried his team to be the number 1 seed in the West, which is hard. You have teams like the Nuggets. You have teams like the Lakers, a young Rockets team that's playing really good this year, the Warriors. You have a stacked West, and he's carrying them to be the number 1 seed. So I think that this year, Shai go ahead and get the MVP. And I don't think this will be the last one, though.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
bro.
Yes, sir. I 100% agree with you. And on top of everything you said, he is averaging 50, almost 40, 90. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he's averaging 2 steals a game and a block. So that also says not only is he getting buckets, but he's also dominating on the defensive side of the ball too. But I just want to say shout out to Jokic, man. He's having a crazy year. He's probably one of the most talented big men we've ever seen in the NBA. But it's clearly Shai for MVP. And I personally thought Shai should have won it last year too. But I was okay with Jokic winning because the Nuggets were the number 2 seed with the same exact record as the Thunder last year. But this year the Thunder are up 13 games in the Wild Wild West. So last year they were tied, and this year they're up 13 games in the most wildest conference we ever seen. And I just feel like if we don't give Shai his MVP this year, why did we give Steph Curry his unanimous MVP in 2016? Curry averaged 36 and 5 with 2 steals on the West leading Warriors. Shai hasn't had Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein for a good chunk of the season. So if you categorize MVP with scoring, team success, or who's the most valuable to their team, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander every single day. So if Shai doesn't win MVP, we will storm the Capitol.
Hey, chill out. You can't be saying that, man. You can't be doing that. All right. You know, see how you be listening. But look, I agree with y'all that it should be Shai. Right. That's the problem with this whole MVP thing with the NFL and the NBA. I feel like we still don't know what the MVP really is. Because sometimes we pull out the best player on the best team conversation. Sometimes we pull out this who's just having the best year, right? I think we need to make up our minds because if we put the best player on the best team, had that conversation, then you gotta give it to Shai for sure, right? He's the best player on the best team. He's having the best year. But if we're gonna look at just straight numbers, then Jokic has an argument, right? That's my whole point. Like, so what? So what is the actual definition of an MVP in the NFL? I get mad all the time. Why do we give the MVPs to just the best player on the best team? Right? That's what happened with Lamar Jackson last year. Then this past year, we gave it to Josh Allen. Like, make up your mind, because his numbers wasn't even better than Lamar. So, like, this whole MVP thing for the NBA and the NFL, I don't understand it. I don't know what the criteria is. I think we need to solidify that first. Because we're looking at numbers, y'all. Jokic averaged 30, 13, and 10. Like, I like, like that is crazy work. And like you said, he is the second seed in the West, right? Or he should be the second seed in the West when it's all said and done. But Shai is the number one seed, and Shai is just putting up crazy numbers. Like I'm looking at for those bettors out there, people that love to bet on player props, but Shai number being like 34 and a half, 30, like that is insane. Like, how are you comfortable betting that Shai gonna get that 35, 30? And guess what? He does, right? And he does it with ease. He does it in the third quarter. You're like, oh yeah, my money locked up. So Shai is definitely having a great year. But if it was to go to Jokic, it's not blasphemous. Like, I don't think it's crazy if Jokic win it. I think Shai should win it. I think all three of us agree on that. But Jokic has an argument, bro. Like 30, 13, and 10. Like, that's just insane. So Jared, would you be mad? Or not mad, but would you think it's unfair if Jokic win MVP?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't think it's unfair, but I think it'd be kind of like a whenever Giannis won MVP over James Harden. I don't to this day I don't agree with that MVP. I don't. I feel like it should have been James Harden. James Harden was backpacking his team that year. He was putting up crazy numbers, kind of like Shai is. And so, I mean, but I can see the argument for Giannis. I can see the argument for Yoke. Like you said, he's averaging crazy numbers this year. He's put up he's had historic games, like 2 historic games. First player to ever like accomplish that stat line. So I wouldn't be mad if it was Jokic, but I just don't think that this is the year that he deserves it. I don't. I think that it has to be Shai.
All right, Real, do you think it would be unfair or unruly if Jokic won MVP?
Yes, sir. To be 100% honest, I'd be pissed, and I'm saying this as a fellow Thunder fan, and I don't mean this towards no bias, but whenever you take away a player's MVP, it really kind of hurts his legacy because it looks back and it's like, dang, that player doesn't have an MVP, or dang, he only has one MVP. Like James Harden has one MVP. Whenever we look back on all the scoring he's had a one MVP. Russell Westbrook, everything great he's had one MVP. Kevin Durant, he's had one MVP. So imagine if Shai doesn't win MVP this year, and then he's just never the same. Because you guys know how NBA and the NBA is, NFL, any sport, you could have a major injury and just never be the same player again. So him not being able to win this MVP, it would just hurt his legacy so much. And I honestly feel like if the NBA was to give this MVP to Jokic this year with everything that Shai's done, I feel like the NBA be racist. I feel like Adam Silver is racist. I swear.
Whoa.
Because like what else do you want this man to do?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like, I'm not gonna go that far to say it's racist. I see what you're saying. Like, Real just said it's racist. Real say we got to storm the Capitol. Real just Real putting a lot on our plate right now. All right. I don't,
Yes.
you putting a lot on our plate. But to piggyback off what you said about James Harden only winning one, KD only, there's a lot of years that we seen players and say, okay, they should have won or they got snubbed. Right? I think last year Luka got snubbed. Luka averaged oh my bad, I had it right here. Luka averaged 34, 9, and 10 and didn't win the MVP last year. Now, I think that's when that conversation of success was coming into play last year. Like, Jokic was the second seed in the West, and Doncic was he played y'all first round, so he had to be 8.
No. He
Who
was
was number one in the West?
I want to say he was 6. Actually, I think I saw it earlier today. I think he was 5 or 6.
I think it was 5. I think it was 5. Yeah.
So who was number one in the West last year?
The Thunder.
Okay. See.
That's right. Played our second round. I'm sorry. He played the Thunder second round. I'm tripping. I thought it was first round. He played the Thunder second round. So I mean, I think he got snubbed last year for sure. But like I said, with the success conversation, you throw Jokic in there. That's why I think that the NBA community, has to come together and say, okay, this is the criteria. Quit making it a different thing every single year. Same with the NFL. We keep just flip flopping and basically who we want to win, we're gonna make an argument for that person, whether it's just success or it's strictly numbers, or you heard that argument of if we take him off this team and take him off this team, which team gonna be better? Like there's so many different arguments you can have for MVP. I think we have to just figure out, okay, you gotta do this, 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 and that's what the MVP is. Because like I said, if you look at it numbers wise, I think Jokic got it. But if you look at it as Shai is the best player on the best team, he has the most success, and he averaging 33, then it would be Shai. So to me, it wouldn't be crazy for either one to win. It would just be another snub that we've seen time and time again.
Yes, sir. And just to piggyback off what you said, and like you said, Luka Doncic, like we all know Luka Doncic is gonna win MVP, right? So snubbing Shai off this MVP, when I say it'll hurt his legacy, it's not a guarantee that he'll win another MVP. Like it's not just a guarantee next year or in 2 years or in 3 years he'll be in the MVP convo because there's so many great players in the NBA. So many great players in the NBA coming into the NBA. You guys know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I just feel like we gotta get this one right this year. We got to.
Yep. I agree 100%. All right. But speaking of OKC, let's talk about who is the biggest threat to OKC. All right. So this is the East and the West. Who's the biggest threat? Because if you think they're going to the finals, then of course you're going to pick an Eastern Conference team. But if you think they're going to get beat in the playoffs, then what team in the West do you think is the biggest threat to OKC? Rail you up.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna go right back to Jokic. I'm gonna give this man the utmost respect because I truly believe he is the best player in the NBA. Like you said, 30, 13, and 10, that's just not happening that's not happening for no reason. On top of that, averaging shooting 50 and 40 from the 3-point line, you can't stop him however you want to do it. So I know that the Denver Nuggets and the OKC Thunder will be the conference finals matchup because of how good Jokic is. And this team, like both of these teams, went 2-2 in the season series. So you could argue that one team wasn't healthy, but both teams weren't healthy the whole season. So I think this is a series that will go to 7, and it's just gonna be who. It's gonna come down to who's the deepest team, who's the most healthiest, and who's the better coach team. And it's gonna come down to experience. It's gonna basically come down to everything. So I definitely got Denver being the biggest threat to OKC. We can't forget about them at all.
All right, Jay, you up?
Okay. So if the playoffs started today, OKC would have an easy first round win. They would end up playing probably either Sacramento or the Clippers. First round win easily. Their next round would be against the Lakers. And that is who I think is the biggest threat to Oklahoma City. You look at the Lakers, they have 3 guys that are averaging 20, almost 20. Also, Reaves averages like 19.6. So we're basically gonna say 20. They have 3 guys averaging 20 points per game. That's not that's hard to beat because that means any given night, any one of these players can go out here and go for 30. And the only thing about the Lakers is they need to make sure LeBron is back 100%. So they are right for sitting LeBron out for this little extended period of time so that he is 100%. Get back about 5-6 games left. If he needs that much rest, get back in a groove, get back flowing, and be ready for playoffs. But I do think that this Lakers team, like when they're fully healthy, they are scary. I don't see anybody on OKC being able to stop Luka. That's just that's impossible. He's up there with Shai when it comes to being unguardable. He really is. And you also have LeBron. We've seen that their ability to space the floor has been great. We've seen a bunch of times where they can space the floor. All the attention's on Luka. We see a backdoor cut from LeBron. Like they move around. They're just not stagnant when it's one-on-one basketball. It's not all of this watching Luka just go to work. No. JJ Redick has done a great job of making sure that his team is playing as a team still. And that is where I have to give him tremendous props. Like, it's hard to coach two stars. It really is. Like, there's some coaches that aren't built for it. Some coaches that can't do that. But to be able to coach LeBron and Luka and still have the team involved, and when you look at their defense, like, we underestimated their defense. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we thought their defense wasn't gonna be that good. Having Luka, some people say LeBron doesn't really play defense anymore. His off-ball defense is terrible. They're playing defense against great, good teams. We're seeing them sit down and lock up. So I just think that with this JJ Redick coach team, having Luka, having LeBron, that's experience right there. Luka's coming off a finals experience. LeBron, we know how great he is. He's been doing this for a long, long time. He knows what it takes to win a series. Austin Reaves, he's been playing with LeBron for a little minute now, so he knows off of LeBron, not necessarily being in the fire, although does have a Western Conference Finals appearance under his belt. But he knows that being alongside LeBron, he knows what it takes to win. JJ Redick knows what it takes to win. So I just think that this team, their foundation has been built. And I do think that if OKC runs into the Lakers, that might be the end of their playoff run.
All right, so I agree with both of y'all. Actually, I like the Nuggets, I like the Lakers, and I'm gonna go with a different team. And one thing is to piggyback off what you said about how they said the defense wasn't gonna look good, right, with Luka and Bron, everything like that. Well, now LeBron can actually sit down and move his feet because he don't gotta do everything on offense. Like that's one thing that I've noticed with Luka on the court now. It takes so much of the load off LeBron to where he can use that extra energy on defense, right? And then of course his help defense is also better because hey, on offense I ain't gotta do that much because Luka's gonna run the show. But I'm gonna go with another team. Like it's literally in this order. Like Lakers, this team I'm about to say, the Nuggets, or it might be the team I'm about to say, or the Lakers, interchangeable. The Nuggets, then OKC. That's how I would rank my team going into the playoff. Like I agree with both of y'all. I'm going with the Warriors. All right, the Warriors look, look, bro. I'm telling you, Steph Curry had a bad game yesterday against the Nuggets, right? And the talk on sports television today is if Steph has an off night, then the Warriors don't have a chance. Do we forget who playoff Jimmy is? Like, and I understand, real. You brought this up a couple of times. Jimmy got older, right? It's been a minute since we seen him in playoff Jimmy mode because last year he was hurt. I Until I see him fall off in the playoff, I am not going to throw away that notion that he is one of the best playoff performers that we've ever seen. So having that paired with Curry, who we know is going to turn it up in the playoffs, so we've seen it, right? We've seen it the year that he took his team to the finals. Right, we even saw it the year that he lost to the Lakers in the second round. I want to say the year the Lakers lost to the Nuggets, he was still hooping. Right, the Lakers had a better team. Um, so Curry gonna turn it up. I know Jimmy Butler gonna turn it up. And one person that you also brought up on the previous episode, Jonathan Kuminga. Ever since he got back, he been in double figures. So that's another scoring option that they have. And Draymond is gonna do Draymond things, whatever.
Get a tech.
Huh?
Get a tech.
Hey, he get a tech and the team turned up for some reason. So he know what he got to do, right? And this is that championship pedigree, right? Steve Kerr, championship coach. I One problem I have, I'm on both sides of this argument, right? That Steve Kerr won with Mark Jackson's team, right? Because Mark Jackson built that team and Steve Kerr just won. But Steve Kerr is still a good coach. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say he just getting carried by his roster year in and year out because he did win that championship the year against Boston. Right, that roster was not a championship roster, but you had Steph Curry, and I think Steve Kerr is a really good coach. So I'm betting on Steve Kerr. I'm betting on Steph. I'm betting on playoff Jimmy and Kuminga being a really good third option. Draymond numbers actually has gotten better since Jimmy Butler has been with the Warriors as well, and ever since Curry started turning up. So look, I'm not sleeping on the Warriors. The public can. I'm tired of that whole Lakers in five mess. I don't believe in that when it comes to the Warriors. I don't. I just it's a fear that I have, man. That some players can just turn that switch up in the playoffs, and they have two of them, in Curry and Jimmy Butler. All right, so Rail, you think that the scariest team to you as an OKC fan is the Nuggets because of Jokic, right?
Yes, sir.
Who would you be? Let's just say I'll get to the finals. Who would you be scared of the most coming out of the East?
Boston.
Without a doubt.
100%. hundred
All right,
percent.
Jared, if you was OKC fan, you'd be scared of Boston the most, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm
So,
trying to tell
so,
you.
so let's just say the Cavs. Let's say the Cavs and OKC met in the finals. Let's just say, right? What would y'all series count be? Real, you up first. Like OKC will win in how many games?
Yes, sir. I think it would be a 4-2 matchup with, with OKC winning. Um, I think that the Thunder just have a way better team. Like from 1 through 12, they have a way better head coach, and I feel like this team is just a lot more hungrier. And like I tell you every single episode when we talk about the Cavs are just really, really small. Like Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, who is gonna guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Like I know DeAndre Hunter comes off the bench. Maybe they might make that adjustment, maybe. But like, who is going to guard this guy? This guy is just he's playing. He's been playing with these guys all season, like we said at the beginning of the episode. And I feel like I feel like Chet and Hartenstein are a better duo than Mobley and Jared Allen. And like I said, the Thunder are more deeper than them. So the Thunder have a way better bench. Like people don't understand. Like you said, the Warriors they have a good 1 and 2 combo, but in the playoffs, what it really has to do with is who has the best bench. Because whenever your starters go to the bench, what's the plus minus looking like? Your starters can't play all 48 minutes. So,
Yeah,
but I definitely got it going 4-2 OKC.
actually, Jared.
Um, Me personally, I think this is a 7 game series. I do. Because in my eyes, they're both not championship teams in my eyes. So I do think that it would be a very interesting matchup. You have Shea for OKC, you have Donovan Mitchell for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's been hooping this year. That's one guy that he doesn't get enough credit. He doesn't get talked about enough. He is on the best team in the East, and he's still not getting the credit that he deserves. So I do feel like if they get to the championship, I think it's going to come down to that game 7. Now, who do I trust more in the game 7? I would have to go with Shea. I mean, I've seen Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs time and time again, and we've seen the same results time and time again. Like he hasn't been able to get the job done, and there's been series where he should have easily won, and he's failed to come out on top. So I do think that if we do see a finals matchup between the Thunder and the Cavaliers, I have the Thunder in 7.
Okay, I agree. I think that would be a really good series. Honestly, if Cleveland did make it, but all right, Nuggets, Lakers, and Warriors. Those are the biggest threats to OKC in the West. All right, now moving on. Speaking of the Lakers, let's talk about AR-15. That bad man Austin Reaves, all right, who's been putting on a show over the past couple of games, and there's a new debate sparking. Is he the best third option in the NBA? I believe Jarek is up first. What you think?
He is. I will say confidently that he is the best third option in the NBA. When you look around, there are teams that have 3 players. They have a so-called big three. Like we go to Phoenix, for example. They're not good. You have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and then Bradley Beal's their third best player. Bradley Beal's time has came and gone. And then you have um, other teams who their third option is just they're not as strong as Austin Reeves.
Yeah, talk about
So
talk about the other team. Keep naming teams.
what team want we talk about?
Talk about who the third option in Philly.
Let that man rest, dude. He's out for the rest of the season. He's trying to get his body right. So whoever he gets traded to this summer, he can go over there and show y'all that he still has some left in the tank, man. That man's been playing with injuries the whole year. Let that man rest. Let him rest. So calm down. But yeah, Paul George. But the difference is we've seen this season that when the Lakers' number 1 option goes down, there's no drop off. For you to be able to be the second option, that's not normal. Like most third options, they feed off of the first and second option. Most third options, like in Denver, we can say that, yeah, people say Russell Westbrook been hooping, but I'd say that the third option is Michael Porter Jr. If Nikola Jokic or Jamal Murray go down, I don't see Michael Porter Jr. being a number two option in terms of being a threat. He's more of a catch and shoot guy. He's not gonna go and get his own. We see Austin Reaves go and get his own. Most third options have to play off the number one and two option. He doesn't. He's able to get his own. Like I said, when their one option goes down, when LeBron has gone down, he stepped up and been a great second option. Like we see him out here hooping. He's out here getting his own buckets, out here facilitating a little bit. It's just these are like characteristics that you see. These are not characteristics that you normally see in a third option. Most third options are a very great role player that is that team's third option. And it mostly fits because of the role that they have within that team. But I think that Austin Reaves, if you put him on some of these teams that don't have a number two guy, or some of these teams that have a shaky number one, he can be that number one or number two. Like he's proven that. I'm not gonna lie. I used to not be an Austin Reaves believer, but he has changed my mind on how I think about him. Like I said, he's averaging 20 points per game. That's not easy to do, especially when you have Luka and LeBron on the court. They take up so much of the ball. Like one of them two are gonna have the ball in their hands, but he's able to play off ball, which is another great thing. And then whenever one of them goes out, he can get the ball and go to work. Like he's having a great season so far. And I think that he's gonna be a big part for them in the playoffs and for their success. Like Luka and LeBron can hoop. They can have 20 each. One can have 30, one can have 25. But you still need Austin Reaves to step up and make big plays. And I think he has that capability, and he will come playoff time. So I do think that without a doubt, Austin Reaves is the best third option in the league.
All right, real.
Yes, sir. So Jalen thinks I hate on the Lakers. So I'm just gonna say this now and get this out the way. Uh, Austin Reeves is a really good player. He's a solid. You know what I'm saying? He's solid. He has a solid playmaking bag. He can score the basketball at all three levels. He's solid. Okay, but I'm just gonna say pump the brakes before you even answer. And Jared, both of you guys, pump the brakes. I gotta say it's way more to basketball than just scoring. And I think Chet Holmgren, Evan Mobley, Mikal Bridges, RJ Barrett, Amen Thompson, Desmond Bain, Norman Powell, like you just said, Derek, Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine are all better players than Austin Reeves. Like that was a terrible take. I did not like that take, especially after Austin Reeves. He doesn't play defense, and this is like his first year doing this. Okay, and he averages 20. Wait, he doesn't even average 20. He averages 19. Like this is his first year doing this. Like we need to just pump the brakes on that. We need to completely pump the brakes on that. And on top of that, he's playing with two of the greatest playmakers ever. So like I'm not saying he's a bad player at all, but like he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's doing what any shooter in the league would do. But yeah, I think it's just way more than basketball than just scoring. So I'm definitely gonna go. There's a lot better third options in the league, and like a lot more guys play defense, grab rebounds, steal the ball, play make. It's just I think that was a terrible take. He's probably the 10th best third option in the league. Maybe like he's definitely not top 5, but that was just I didn't like that take, and I think Jared was just being biased.
Wow. The 10th best third option. You know, I think you proved my point that you are a Lakers hater, and it's okay. It's all right. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, look, the thing that I think his biggest argument is that Jerick said that whenever the number one, number two option goes down, he steps up and has a good game. I have evidence that when Luka or LeBron or Anthony Davis don't play, right, he can put up a 40 ball, a 30 ball, and get you to win. That not many third options. I bet you Desmond Bain can't do that. I guarantee.
I bet you. I bet you. 100%. I bet you.
Desmond Bain has done that multiple times. What?
Without Ja and without Jaren Jackson.
Whenever Ja and Jaren Jackson were hurt a couple years ago, y'all must not be familiar with Desmond Bain's game.
I guess I'm not.
Desmond Bain's been averaging 19, 20 points. Austin Reeves just now averaging 19. Like, come on, bro. Like I tell you all the time, the Lakers have 2 good weeks, and you just like slow down. I'm not a hater. I just tell the truth. Slow down.
I'm not.
Slow down.
I'm not understanding. We had this conversation. Those 2 good weeks were after the Luca trade. Okay, this is our team now. Our team before the Luca trade doesn't matter no more because guess what? That's not the team, right? Some of the players are gone. So since the Luca trade, there's been 2 good weeks of good basketball, right? Then LeBron got hurt, lost a couple games, dropped a couple games, right? But now we're getting right back on track. And actually, in one of those losses against the Denver Nuggets with no Luca, with no LeBron, Austin Reaves had a 37, 13, and 8. There's no other third option putting up 37, 13, and 8. I promise. And you just said it's more to the game just scoring, right? Well, he had the 13 and 8 outside of the scoring column. So Austin Reaves that guy. And Jared, you ain't innocent either because I remember when Dalton Connect got drafted, you told me that the best white boy on the Lakers was Dalton Connect. And I told you and Dad to pump your brakes, relax, and now you're talking about he's the best third option in the
How
league.
quickly? How quickly did I take that statement back? That wasn't necessary because now you're making you look like I don't know basketball. Because that was a bad take. I'll admit it. I was showing a little bit of favoritism, but I told you early on I wasn't an Austin Reeves guy, but he's proved me wrong. I said that, like, so I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying he's the best third option in the league.
You agree with me now. But once upon a time, you was lost. Just like Tyrell lost right now. It's okay. Tyrell, I look over the past 4 games. 28, 37, 28, and 30.
There are so many guys in the league. Like I said, the NBA is so talented. There's so many guys in the league that can go and be a number one, number two option and score a lot of points.
I know there's a lot of third options that can go be a number one option and score a lot of points.
I just named you a whole list of them, sir.
That is not a whole list. That was not Norman Powell. He's had one spectacular season.
Hey, okay, so let's pump the brakes on Austin Reeves. And like I just told you about Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane been doing that the past 4 years, shooting 40% from three, 40% on a really good Grizzlies team.
If Desmond Bane,
let's pump the brakes on Austin Reeves.
No, I think we need to stop pumping the brakes. I think we need to step on the gas. All right, because I think that Austin Reeves is showing us, and actually, I think there's a method to LeBron's madness. I don't think LeBron's that hurt. I don't think so. Mind you, when I was watching the Lakers game prior to LeBron getting hurt, Austin Reeves was playing terrible. I remember telling you that in the group chat, where Austin Reeves has been off the past couple games. Just so happened LeBron get hurt. Now Austin Reeves finding his footing. Remember a couple years ago, whenever the Lakers beat the Memphis Grizzlies first round, LeBron got hurt at the end of the season. Guess who just popped up out of nowhere? Guess who just popped up? Austin Reeves. So I think there's a little method to LeBron's madness. Look, I'm going to sit out a couple weeks at the end of the season because I need guys to get better. I need guys to get a rhythm. I need guys to show up, right? And Austin Reeves is getting his footing. So if Austin Reeves is playing like this, of course he can't score 37 with Luka and LeBron. Maybe he can't, but he's not going to average nowhere near 30, nowhere near 25, nothing like that, because he can't, because Luka and LeBron will score the most points. But if he's playing at this level with Luka and LeBron, hey, OKC, bye-bye. Denver, bye-bye. Golden State, if he's playing like this, bye-bye. I promise you that. And guess what? If he gets to the finals and he plays
This is where I would say pump your brakes. This is where I'm going to say pump your brakes. Stop it. Stop it. Those are problems that you do not want.
If Austin Reeves is playing like this in the finals against the Boston Celtics, what was the main problem last year with the Dallas Mavericks? It was Luka and who? Who else was playing? Exactly. Crickets. Nobody. Because Kyrie did not play well. PJ Washington did not show up. Nobody showed up but Luka. If you got Luka, LeBron's going to show up. And if Austin Reeves show up like this, why can't they beat Boston?
You do know who's going to be guarding him, right?
Who'll be guarding Austin?
Yes.
Jaylen Brown will be on Luka, and Tatum going to be on
Braun.
So who going to be guarding Austin Reeves?
Drew Holiday and Derek White.
Baby food.
Baby food.
Hey.
Baby. Wow.
Ain't nobody worry about that.
But I'll be hating. All right.
Hey, baby food.
That's see, you were doing good. You were doing good. You were staying level-headed, and now you're getting ahead of yourself. Those are problems that you do not want.
Dude, man, you better hope they got the East. How about that?
I told you that's
y'all look too
that's solidified. That's over with. We're not even talking about the East no more.
I can't
I'm
wait.
trying to tell you,
I
there's
can't.
no reason to talk about the East. We know who's coming out the East. We know they're running it back. Two of them. This time, Jason Tatum will make sure he's Finals MVP, Conference Finals MVP. He's gonna make sure of it.
I got
Trust. It's loading.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next subject. Coach of the year, man. I made a big mistake a couple weeks ago in the podcast, and I'm gonna tell y'all the mistake I made a little bit. But as of right now, who should win Coach of the Year? I believe Real is up first.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna go up to Cleveland. Say Kenny Atkinson. This guy just completely turned this Cavs team around. This is a Cavs team that was the fifth seed last year. Fired their head coach, and Kenny Atkinson. I don't know if you guys remember. Kenny Atkinson is the coach that Brooklyn had a couple years ago that KD had fired. So the owner and GM fired Kenny Atkinson so they can have KD, so they can have KD happy. Like
Yeah,
KD thought he was the problem. A lot of people thought he was the problem, and this guy he stays down. He goes to Steve Kerr's championship team. He learns how to run a championship team for a couple years. Then he goes to Cleveland, and you guys see what happened. Cleveland has 11 losses on the season. Like guys have 14, 15 games. Like Cleveland has 11 losses on the season. You know what I'm saying? So I think this guy should definitely get a lot of credit, especially when coming into the season, nobody was talking about the Cavs. I heard a
Mhm.
lot of people talking about the Bucks. I heard a lot of people talking about the Knicks. A lot of people talking about the Celtics. I didn't hear anybody talking about the Cavs. So shout out to Kenny Atkinson. I think you should definitely go ahead collect your Coach of the Year award, and this offseason, go ahead cash him a big check because he needs to be staying in Cleveland a long time.
I like that pick, Jared.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm being a little biased, but I don't care. Coach of the Year needs to be Ime Udoka. I'm going to say it right now. Yes, Cleveland Cavaliers head coach. You've done a great job. You have Donovan Mitchell. You have Darius Garland. You have Evan Mobley, who people are very high on this year. You traded for DeAndre Hunter. The number one in Houston is Jalen Green and Alfred Sengun. These aren't players that you're going to look at and say these are number one guys. They're not. There's a time in Houston where people were saying Jalen Green is a bust. We need to get rid of him. I'm one of those guys that said Jalen Green was a bust. We need to get rid of him. He has Jalen Green. He has the rest of his team playing phenomenal. Mind you, Ime Udoka is the same guy that took Boston to the championship their first time when they lost to the Warriors. He has shown that he can, with talent, he showed us what he can do. He can get a team to the finals. That was just a bad finals. Steph Curry went ballistic. You weren't going to win that finals. That's okay. With a team not full of stars, he's showing us what he can do. And it's just like a lot of these teams, you have star power, and that's a majority of it. And then you add a good coach, and you get to your great record where, like you said, they only have 11 losses. Ime Udoka doesn't have the star power, but he's coaching his butt off. He has a team playing defense. They're buying in. They're hustling. They're very gritty this year, and this has led them to be the second seed in the playoffs. Before the season started, and he knows this, I said, we're a playing team. He looked at me very, very sideways. He started laughing at me when I said that we are going to make the play in, and that's all I want. Now the Rockets are the second seed in the playoffs, looking to hopefully get at least a first round win. It's going to be hard because your first round opponent might be Anthony Edwards. That's crazy luck of the draw. I'm the second seed, and I have to play the guy that just went to the conference finals last year. But that's okay because this team is ahead of schedule. He is taking this team to from rebuild to being a problem in the West for certain teams. So I honestly do think that we need to go ahead and give Ime Udoka his flowers and give him that Coach of the Year. And best believe that in the next couple of years, the Houston Rockets will be a contender in the West.
Hey, Jalen, let me just say something right quick. Let me just say something right quick.
Yeah.
Just piggyback off what he said. Me personally, I don't even think Aduka should be in the top five of a coach of the year voting, and just simply because of this. You said that all these other coaches have all these players, but little do you know, the Rockets' payroll is really big. You guys spent a good amount of money on Fred VanVleet. You guys spend a good amount of money on Dylan Brooks, and on top of that, the whole world knows you guys been tanking the past 4 years. So you guys have had a top 3 pick the last 4 years. There's no reason why this team shouldn't be really good. So like I just
Have these top 3 picks panned out? You said yourself, Jabari Smith Jr. is a bust.
they're a top 3 pick.
Just because you have top picks does not mean anything. They have to be good players.
He's the
Jabari Smith
thing.
Jr. is
You have
not one of them.
to win.
So no, we're payroll. Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet. Are they gonna like Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet? Are these guys superstars? No, they're role players that are playing their role. That Ime Udoka is giving them their role to play. Don't downplay this man. Don't sit here and do that. Don't do that. No, you got to stop it. You got to stop. This is crazy. You've been saying some crazy stuff on this podcast today. I don't know what it is today. I don't know if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You've been saying some crazy stuff. You said Austin Reeves not a top 10 third option, and you said Ime Udoka shouldn't be top 5. I guarantee you there is not 5 coaches that could have this Houston Rockets team be second in a stacked West. There's not.
This the last thing I'm gonna say about that. So the 2nd seed and the 7th seed are exactly 4 games apart. So just be very humble whenever you're saying stuff like that, because at the end of the season, you guys might be 6th seed, and then what's your argument then?
We won't be.
That's all I gotta say.
We won't be. Stay tuned. We won't be.
Stay tuned. All right. I think Real, I like your pick. Jared, I like your pick. You had the right formula, but you said the wrong guy. A couple weeks ago, I made a big mistake, and I remember we talked about it. I said the coach of the year award should either go to JJ Redick. I said Kenny Atkinson, and I said Ime Udoka. I think those are the 3 guys I said. I made a big mistake, and I want to issue out a huge apology to Detroit Nation and to JD Bigstaff, because this team was dead last in the East last year. This team was 14-68 last year. They got rid of Monty Williams, right? The Cavs fired JB Bickerstaff. JB comes to the Detroit Pistons, and he's already doubled the wins. And not only that, but you went from the worst team in the East to now basically guaranteed a playoff spot. It's not even like he took baby steps to say, okay, let's go to the play-in tournament, and then a couple years later we're going to be us. No, they're a top 6 seed in the East. Nobody saw this coming. Like, you talk about the Rockets, nobody saw this coming. You talk about the Cavs, nobody saw this coming. We all thought Detroit was just going to be another bad year, right, trying to get another lottery pick. But this team has actually been hooping, and in large part of Cade Cunningham, right? To me, he should be the most improved player, even though I think he's too good for that award, but he should be the most improved player. But outside of that, this is almost the same team as last year. All they did was really add Tobias Harris. And nobody thought that adding Tobias Harris was going to equate to this team being a top 6 seed in the East. So, JB, you got all my respect, and I think he should definitely win Coach of the Year, because he's already doubled the amount of wins they had last year, right? Looking to go ahead and triple the amount of wins they had last year. They're playing good against really good teams. And also, JB, I know y'all saw when he got fined the other day for what he was saying in the press conference, right? He's all in. He cares. He's showing that emotion that I like to see from coaches. Like, he really, really cares. And he has to coach his butt off, because outside of Cade Cunningham, who are you circling on the game plan sheet? Like, Jalen Duran is solid, but we're not scared of Jalen Duran. Like, Tobias Harris, he's not what he once was. And people think he once was nothing, because a lot of people think Tobias Harris is overrated. But the team is not that good. But they're the 6th seed in the East. I got to give JB much respect and much credit.
Yeah, I agree with that pick 100%.
Yeah, but you don't rock with Ime, though.
You agree with that pick, but you don't rock with the Rockets pick.
Man,
that's crazy. That's crazy work. We talk about the jump that Cade Cunningham took. Cade Cunningham averaged 26 points this year. He averaged 24 last year. Cade Cunningham averaged 8 assists last year. He averages 9 assists this year. Talk about the crazy jump, though. We know Cade Cunningham is nice. Cade Cunningham's biggest problem in the past has been his ability to stay on the court. Once again, the Houston Rockets don't have a Cade Cunningham. I don't care what y'all say. They do not have a Cade Cunningham. They don't. They do not.
But I do think that
Cunningham over anybody on Houston any day of the week.
But I do think that, like I said, I'm not trying to throw shade at Ime. I think that's a good pick. But they do have a better all around team than Detroit does. Like
That
they
is
don't have a
true.
Cade Cunningham, but they have a better team.
That is true. I will agree with that.
Yeah, so like I said, the JB's team is not like it's not, bro. If I take Cade Cunningham off that team, they gonna have another 14 win season. Like that's just facts. If I take Jalen Green or whoever your number one option is off the Rockets, y'all are not gonna be in the playoffs, but y'all gonna have more than 14 wins. Like that, like that's how I feel. I feel like Detroit is just a worse team than the Rockets are. And like I said, not taking nothing from Ime. I think Ime is a good pick.
Y'all
Okay,
disrespecting
it's
this man
just
so
that
bad.
one over there said that
Y'all
Ime.
disrespecting this man so bad. It's actually insane. It's crazy. Y'all know that Denver's record in the West is 27-15.
Why you saying y'all?
The Rockets 26-16
No,
in
no,
conference in the
no.
West in the Wild Wild West.
Why you
No,
saying y'all?
no, no, no. Because you said that you were completely wrong the other week because you had Ime Udoka in your top three. Clearly, you're saying he should not be in your top three.
No, I'm gonna
Clearly,
say. I'm gonna
clearly
say.
you're saying JJ Redick and Kenny Atkinson
Yeah.
are better coaches than him this year,
No, no,
and
no.
that the coach for Detroit is the third option. That's clearly
No,
what you're saying.
unfortunately, JJ got to fall to fourth. Like I'm not taking Ime out my top three. So I say that's why I said I agree with both of y'all, Kenny, Ime, but I think JB should be number one without a doubt. It's that one over there that you need to be talking to who said that you you crazy.
You can't convince him nothing. He thinks that Norman Powell is a better third option than Austin Reeves. So I don't know what to say at this point.
Norman Powell should have been an all-star. Like he was in the all-star conversation, bro.
He's having one great season.
Austin Reeves is having one great season.
Austin Reeves has been building to this. Austin Reeves was doing stuff like this last year.
Flashes. He was showing flashes of this
Yes.
last year and before
He's
last.
building to this. Norman Powell came out of nowhere. Will Norman Powell do this again next year? I really don't think so.
You could argue that he built up to this too, learning behind Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and just watching them. And you could argue that like he was just a bench player that needed some minutes. Like he averaged 13 points last year. It's not like he was just a bad player. He's always been a good shooter. So I mean,
Always.
Yeah, no, nothing against Norman. Like I think Norman
Nothing.
solid. I think he did get snubbed with All Star spot this year, but I think Austin Reeves is better. That's just me.
So if you're starting your team, you're taking Norman Powell over Austin Reeves.
if like yeah, I'd take Norman Powell over Austin Reeves. Yeah, like
You said there's more to just shooting the ball. The man averages 3 rebounds and 2 assists.
you're not lying. If you're talking about like just 1 year, then I'm gonna say Norman Powell. But if you're talking about like drafting, I'm gonna go Austin Reeves just because of how young he is. But I'm gonna go Norman Powell, bro. Like he can obviously lead a team. With Kawhi Leonard being out, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I thought the Clippers were going to be dead last, like first overall pick type bad, but the Clippers were the fourth seed, like the fifth seed before Kawhi Leonard came back. So, and it's because of this man. So I'm gonna definitely go him over Austin Reeves. Hey, but last thing to piggyback what you said about the Rockets. I feel like you kind of got soft for a second, Jared. You said we don't have a Cade Cunningham. You could have had a Cade Cunningham. Like Cade Cunningham went first overall. Jalen Green went second overall.
Yes.
Develop your
Yes.
players better. You thought Jalen Green was gonna be an all-star.
Don't say develop your players better. No, that's going into the draft. There is a complete difference between Cade Cunningham and Jalen. I guarantee you, no GM that year, if they had the first pick, would have taken Jalen Green. There was a difference between the number 1 and number 2 pick. It was clear as day. It was right there in front of everybody's faces.
You have a choice, and on top of that, y'all had the top 3 pick for 4 years in a row. So y'all had a chance to hit on the top pick every single chance. Y'all had 4 chances in a row. Y'all couldn't draft an all-star one time, and then you're complaining, and y'all got an all-star this year. Seguin is an all-star. He's been playing great basketball for you, and you're still talking about some. We don't have a. Make him, develop him.
He's getting developed. You see it. It's right in front of your face. You see it. But he's not a Cade Cunningham. I'll say that again. We're taking Cade Cunningham over him every day of the week. We know this. It's cool though. It's cool though. Like I said, we're ahead of the curve. Give us about 3 years. I promise you, in about 3 years, we're gonna be better than OKC. I
3
promise.
years? Y'all been tanking for 5 years now.
Promise you.
Y'all been tanking since COVID,
Look at how
bro.
many draft picks y'all got. Look at it.
We haven't been tanking for that long though. Like we've been competing for the past 2 years.
Look who you
We
had.
were in the play-in 3 years ago with no Chet Holmgren. That's all. I'm conversation over.
You're very high on Chet. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Jabari Smith is a
Let's see what he
bust.
does in the playoffs.
Jabari Smith is a bust.
He is. He is. I
He
100%
just on the
agree.
top 3 pick.
That year, was he not top 3 pick? Was he? Was he
Shepard
not
looking like
playing
a
like
bust.
crazy in college?
Reed Shepard looking like a bust. Y'all missed on another top 3 pick.
I would agree. I just don't think that Reed Shepard's game doesn't fit our playing style, and that's sad to say.
That's on the coach. That's on who?
It's not
Email
on
or
the coach.
Duka?
It's not on the coach because my play style is winning us games. I understand if Reed Shepard doesn't fit the playing style and we're losing. Playing style led us to be second in the West, but it's okay though. Continue to hate. I love it. I just feel like you hate on anybody in the West. That's all it is. You just don't like teams in the West.
Anybody not named Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes,
That's what
it's
it
okay
is.
though. I like it.
You're right. Got to play the playoffs. I can't wait because
I can't wait because the minute that Shai is eliminated, y'all are getting clowned on this podcast so bad. So bad. I can't wait.
All right, let's move on. We'll end this episode off with our March Madness pick, y'all. It is that time of the year, all right? It is time for March Madness, one of the most exciting times of the year because this is a tournament where the best team don't always win, right? We see the biggest upsets, right? We see these Cinderella runs. That's what makes March Madness so special, all right? So, Jerry, you up first. Who is your March Madness pick to bring home the gold this year?
I have to go with Florida. I think that like we saw what they did in the tournament. They're a dominant team, and this is going to be a huge problem for teams that run up against them. Like they dominated Tennessee, beating them 86-77. They can do it all. They really defend very very well, and they have a guy that can get going. He's going to be something special in this tournament. It's somebody you have to watch out for. He can really get going. He can shoot the ball. He can score. They have an all around team, and I think that like a lot of people thought that Auburn was going to win the SEC tournament. Auburn's kind of falling off, taking a step back. I know that Duke's a very strong team, but I think that they're very young, and they're going to have a time in this tournament where Cooper Flag is going to try and take over, and he's just not going to get the job done. I just think that, and U of H, I'm not very confident in U of H based off of what we've seen the past few years. They've had the talent the past few years, and they have not gotten the job done yet. They haven't. They haven't been able to get to that point. I think that out of all the number one seeds, Florida would be my pick to win this tournament. They're very strong, and I like what I see in Florida.
All right, so Jerry got Florida. Rail, you got
Yes, sir. I'm gonna go up to Auburn. I'm gonna say that I think they got the best starting five in college basketball, and on top of that, they play together. They have a lot of length on their team, and this team's the number one seed for a reason. So I'm gonna definitely go Auburn. I think they also have an easy road.
yeah. Their region is pretty weak. So I think that they could make it. And actually, I would pick Auburn if it wasn't for the godfather of basketball or college basketball. Actually, I'm going with Rick Pitino and I'm going with St. John's. All right, this is a really good defensive team, and it's really not even because of the team. I'm going for this team because of Rick Pitino. All right, I think this time of year, for some reason, people undervalue the um the value of coaches. I think we're undervaluing coaches. Like I'm going to pick these great coaches in college basketball. Like picking Tom Izzo, I would not call you crazy because he is one of the best coaches in March Madness history, and he's one of the best coaches in college basketball today. But I'm gonna go with Rick. Rick has won 2 national championships with 2 different colleges, right? So we know that he can wherever he goes, success is going to follow. So I think that this is a really good opportunity for him to make a run. I think their region is pretty solid this year, and I think that hey, it's time for Rick to be back on top after what happened in Louisville. You know what I'm saying? A
Woo!
little controversy over there, but
Woo! That man shouldn't even be coaching no more.
hey, I think they're gonna be just fine this year, and I actually want to see I want to see the number one seed in their region is because Auburn is with Michigan State
They would play Auburn in the Final
in
Four,
the
right?
Final Four. Yeah, Auburn is with Michigan State, so that would be a nice matchup. Auburn and Tom Izzo. Um, but yeah, St. John's in the same region as Florida.
Yeah, they're in yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry.
Sorry, buddy.
Hey, I'm
Sorry,
just saying.
buddy.
I really think that coaching matters this time of year. And I think that we undervalue it. Sometimes we look at teams and we say he's got the best teams and this, that, and
Yeah,
other.
look at Dan Hurley back to back.
You're right. With UConn.
We didn't think
Exactly.
he had the best team.
And with Michigan State, nobody I have not heard about Michigan State this year. I'm being quite honest with you. They have not been in the headlines. Let's put it like that. Right? But they're number 2 seed, and I believe they got one of the best coaches in the tournament, and they're not one of the top pick teams. Right? So I think that teams like that is when people sleep on. And I think that St. John's is a team that has been hot this year, so there's no reason to sleep on them. But I want Rick Pitino. I think he can win any coaching matchup in the NCAA tournament. I think that's an advantage that I have by going with St. John's. But real, I love your pick because I think that Auburn has all the talent they need. They did fall off a little bit at the end of the season, but I've seen enough this year for what I need to see. I think that they're gonna be just fine. And in Florida, like I said, you gotta go to Norfolk State first. Hopefully you don't get upset. And actually, I'm gonna stop playing. I'm gonna stop playing around. Stop playing around, right? Norfolk State, nobody working. But you gotta play Dan Hurley second round. That's gonna be
Dan Hurley versus Oklahoma is not guaranteed at all. It's not. Like Oklahoma could really. I have UConn winning that game because of Dan Hurley, but he doesn't have enough to beat Florida.
I would bet
They've struggled this year tremendously.
I would bet once again, like I said, I'm the guy that's gonna build a better coach. But then you also gotta play in the if you beat Dan Hurley, you gotta look at Penny and Memphis. Right? So
Penny need to worry about Maryland first. Penny need to worry about Maryland.
That's true. And the funny thing, the other day, I heard that Penny and Memphis not even favored to beat Colorado State. So hey,
Yeah,
that's free
that's
money.
crazy. That's crazy to me. They have
That's
one
free
of the best
money.
guards. They have one of the best guards in the nation. That's crazy to me.
Anybody like betting, go bet on Memphis to win the first round. That is free money. All right, I already put my parlay in, so I want to let y'all know that is free money.
Don't sleep on Clemson though.
Yeah,
Clemson gonna make a little deep run.
Clemson too, but
Memphis to be who?
Huh?
Memphis to be who?
Memphis to be Colorado State. Memphis is not favored, even though they're the higher seed, which is crazy to me. But hey, but I think that Jared, I think your region is pretty tough. UConn, Memphis, Maryland, St. John. That's a tough region to come out of. But I think
all three of them, besides the last team you named, compared to Florida, they're sweet.
Sweet.
Compared to Florida, they're sweet.
Sweet. Jared, do you have any? Just real quick before we leave, do you have like a sleeper, like a team that can make a run that you don't think should really make a run?
And make a deep run?
Yes.
VCU. Watch out. 11 seed VCU. I think they can go far. I really do. Like I said, Clemson, but they're not really a sleeper. They're the fifth. They're a fifth seed, so I mean they're pretty good. But VCU, they can make some noise. They can do some damage this year.
Yeah, and I think my sleeper would be St. Mary's. Something about them Saints, man. Something about them Saints. St. Mary, they are in the. I'm sorry. They're in the East region, but they're in a region with Duke, so that would be the problem. I think St. Mary. I think in my bracket, I actually had them getting all the way to Duke, and I think I got Duke coming out of that region.
It's gonna take St. John, St. Mary, St. Vincent, all of them, St. Peter. It's gonna take all of them to beat Florida.
I already know. Oh, I think about to say Florida.
No. It's gonna take all of them and the Pope to beat Florida.
Okay, that's some crazy work, but that's how we're gonna end today's episode, Straight to the Point podcast. All right, March Madness is here. Make sure y'all get those brackets in and y'all enjoy the madness, all right? Because this is the rough time of the year, right? College basketball about to be over, and then we're gonna head into NBA playoffs, and after that, nothing on TV. Right?
Hey man, go watch some baseball, man.
Unless y'all baseball fans. Luckily for me, I got golf, so I'm straight. But a lot of us, we ain't got no other sports outside of basketball, football. All right. That's it from the Straight to the Point podcast. Right from your boy Jay Best, your boy Real, and your boy Jarek. All right. Much love. Y'all stay blessed. We out.